everyone, welcome to September. September is a month of big changes in our life, changes which lead us to material manifestation of all that we have been working on. It is the time of bringing change, bringing order, bringing things to material manifestation by working on them through the concrete ways that we have understood to be correct at this stage. We work through things that we know are good for us, that we need at this stage for our progress, that are needed for our material abundance. And we receive support for that because there will be 8 planets in the same element in Earth signs in the month of September, especially till around 14th of this month. So the first half of this month is very much focused on productive action to create something to perfection. And this is not intangible. This is a material manifestation of what you truly want to deliver to the world to its perfection. It's about solving issues that were sort of stopping us till now to make it happen and to move forward objectively, discriminating very clearly on what works and what does not. So we make space for what works and discard or get rid of or move away from what does not work. This new moon that is happening at 6 degree 47 minutes of Virgo was defined by Rudyard as an objective approach to the life force. The cycle of life, giving us the opportunity to practice our skills with a prize, a material prize in the end. This is a merry-go-round of life. The ups and downs, objectively knowing that what goes down comes up back again, knowing that the cycle of life is part of us moving forward, and having the discipline to follow through with our objectives irrespective of the ups and downs that life has shown us. And in the process of it all, we are working towards a tangible goal which is achieved as a result of these Earth planets supporting us, helping us create the discipline as well as material support from other sources to make it happen. This is a maturation. This is moving on from what was not working for us and actively creating and building on what is ours. Because Saturn and South Node are making their last contact on 28th of September. They will be in close proximity throughout this month. We will be detaching ourselves with an objectivity from the past that is not serving us. We'll be releasing the karma with the past. For once and for all, there is a significant cord cutting with ease that happens this month, because South Node is making a positive aspect with all our personal planets, helping us release with ease what is not working for us. And this Earth energy of manifestation is helping us create the new. It is helping us move towards the new. It is stimulating our heart to try the new things that we know work for us. Because Uranus, the planet of changes, the planet of innovation, the planet of freedom, is working in positive energy with all our personal planets right from the start of the month itself. In fact, from 27th of August, Uranus starts making contacts with Venus, Mercury, Mars, Sun, exciting us into a new phase of positive changes coming in our life. We will be acting on the shifts in a much easier fashion. It's easier to make changes when the planet of change is making positive aspect with personal planets. Our mind is conditioned in a positive fashion to seek freedom, to act productively to seek what we want, to act on changes in a very positive fashion and receive support for those changes. So it's an excellent time to get new things off the ground. In fact, as a part of this new moon, Uranus is the most significant and the tightest aspect that is being made. So change is the part of this new moon. Whenever sun and moon come together, They give us an impetus to start something new. But when Uranus is embedded as a part of this new start, there is a freedom which is embedded in this new start. The new thing that gets off the ground is something that we have not done before, that we have not experienced before, but what we are ready to try. And we have planned for it because Uranus in Taurus works best with planning. This season of Virgo manifests the best with planning. So, this is something that we might have planned on for a very long time, and now is the time to get it off the ground. Because on 29th of August, when Mercury moves into into Virgo, where it manifests the best. So the planet that rules our business communication and the planet that rules our mind moves into the best possible sign it can be in. We are given a clear thinking, a clear direction, a sharp, logical, practical mind for the duration of, at the very least, the next 2.5 weeks. That is great for business. That is great for organization. That is great for detail work. That is great for putting order to things. That is great for passing through the things and know what works, what does not work, and have a precise work and communication done through on the things that work. What's real, what's not, what's practical, what's not. We can be dry and critical here because we are trying to cut through the BS to some extent to get to what we truly want to manifest. So you will be sharp, and your mind is your strongest instrument this month, especially in the first half of September. Your communication skills, your ability to see through things practically are your strongest suit this month. And the release and the ease of detachment from the past comes as a result of that. So on 29th of August, as soon as Mercury moves into Virgo, Sun is making a positive aspect with this planet of change right before this new moon. The desire for freedom and the desire for trying something new outside what you have done before, outside the norm, leaving the comfort zone becomes easy over here, and you make changes and you take certain risks, but you take certain calculated risk here which you have diligently worked on before. You will receive certain surprises because Uranus always comes with epiphanies, always comes with surprises. So there will be certain discoveries that will come down the road as you go on this new journey. There will be discoveries which are to be had right at the start of the month itself. When Mercury meets Uranus on 1st or 2nd of September, there will be aha moments. There will be stimulating moments. There will be moments of sudden ideas. There will be moments of you realizing that this could be done in a different fashion and I just did not see that before. And it will continue to be the theme in the first half of the month because it colors the first half of the month. In fact, on 10th of September, when Sun and Neptune oppose each other, you will have some kind of revelation of something that you did not see before. So be ready for these epiphanies which come. But as I said, in a grounded season, in a season of practicality, we take all this into stride and make it into something useful. These sudden ideas, these new material information, this new knowledge that comes to us, this new skill set that is getting downloaded in our psyche, it helps us plan forward on these new start in a very practical fashion. So there will be people who are unique which will come in your in your presence. You will meet people who are different from who you've met before. There is a new way of doing things that is coming to us, which is stimulating, which is speeding up our thinking, which is speeding us up in a way that we got to trust our intuition here. We got to trust the insights we're getting here. We got to sort of mature in our way of trusting our own gut here and open our heart up, our desires up, our ambition up, our speech up for something new, which is given to us at the start of the month. And why we are discussing that so potently is because this is not an ordinary new moon. It's coming with a very strong aspect of Mars embedded in it. Wherever Mars is embedded in a new start, there is massive action required right off the bat to lift things up. There is huge amount of ambition that is embedded in it, but it demands huge amount of external action from our end. Otherwise, this internal thought process, excess information, excess internal thought process and internal ambition sort of causes an internal combustion and burnout if we don't take it out in practical world. So you have to give this high mental energy that you will experience right off the bat at the start of the month on around 31st of August, 1st of September into action, into material action. There will be a speed to things. Right from next week, you'll feel it, just the excitement to get things done. Give it ambition ahead of time. Desire, ambition, ego will be on fire, and you would be wanting to get what you want at a speed of its own. And by 2nd of September, Moon will move into Scorpio, and we would be ready to go deeper into things and make the changes. So this new moon has a speed of its own, and it's not just because it's meeting Mars. Mercury meets Sun on 3rd of September as well. So Sun, Mercury, Mars, all in this sign of Virgo are in concentration with each other. There'll be 5 planets in Virgo during this new moon, all focusing on the same things. So your mind is aligned, your heart is aligned, your body is aligned, the support system from external sources is aligned to make this change. And Mercury will be at its fastest speed on 3rd of September when it meets Sun in what we define as superior conjunction. When Sun and Mercury meet each other, it is the time for full implication, full actualization of all this thinking, rethinking, and the introspection that has happened in the last couple of weeks. We have to allow full creative freedom here and seize all possible circumstances of growth, all possible opportunities of growth and expansion here. Mercury is fastest here. Your mind will be fast, your speech will be fast, your actions will be fast, your intellect will be fast, the insights will be fast, and you will be tempted as well as required to act on them. And that's where the Virgo energy, the earth energy, will ask us to use our discretion. Use your discretion when it comes to temper. Use your discretion when we feel irritated with people not moving as fast as we would like things to move. Because this energy of Mars, Mercury, Sun together breeds heat. It breeds fights. It breeds a lot of people not being able to actualize this energy in a positive fashion, and that manifests in form of ego drives and energy being directed in the wrong way in speech. But we have the ability to manage this in a very positive fashion because Saturn is making a positive aspect with Venus at the start of the month as well, tampering down our ability to handle a situation, grounding our heart, grounding our temper, grounding our ability to manage relationships in a positive fashion. So we have access to that energy, but because of the degree at which Mercury, Mars, and Sun are meeting in Virgo, there is an instinctual ability to fly in face of convention at a speed at which others cannot keep up. We are not really rationally guided here. And this is the time when Mercury exceeds Sun. So our mind starts moving ahead of our ambition. We start talking without boundary. We start interacting without boundary. We start going ahead without knowing our limitations to some extent. We go into a full blown maturity when things are still developing. We have, from the time of 3rd of September, 47 days of completion of action all the way towards end of October, when Mercury again goes retrograde. So the next 1.5 months is all about completing this cycle, about being mentally ahead of the game, of being alert, of quick thinking, of lot of interactions, of an urgency to complete things. And that is getting started off or set it off from 2nd or 3rd of September. But at the onset of it, because the picture has not revealed itself in full details, we could take some fast actions. And when new moon has happened only on 30th of August, usually we have to wait till the quarter moon to get some amount of clarity of details of information, which happens around 5th or 6th of September. 5th or 6th of September is the time when Mercury and Sun would be making a positive aspect to Saturn, and we become more grounded in how we are approaching things. 5th and 6th of September is a much better time to have sort of a new start, to get something off the ground. If we have sort of been feeling not so ambitious to start something, not so driven to start something, the initial part of the month gives us the impetus to do it, to impetus to get out of a stagnant situation, impetus to get out of a situation which is not serving us well as well. But the actual business discussion, the positive mindset and ability to convince people, ability to make plans in a more productive fashion, have a more grounded negotiation with people, having a business environment which is better to operate in, 5th, 6th, and 7th of September is a better time to get there. And 5th, 6th, and 7th of September is also when we know that Saturn, the planet of structures, is about to go direct. It will go direct only on 18th of September, but it stands still from 5th or 6th of September. What does that mean? When Saturn stands still, material manifestation of the structural changes that were held up since about April, they are about to be given birth to. These structural changes that we have been waiting for, we've been talking about it, Saturn, Pluto, South Node together. It's about the very fabric of management of our life, the structure of our life, the fabric of our life is being reinvented. When Saturn goes direct, the new structure starts coming to life. The manifestation of the things that were held up, the disintegration of what we thought was integral, happens, and the usefulness is given birth to. The new order is given birth to. And that gets initiated from 18th of September, but the knowledge of that starts coming from 5th and 6th of September. And it is a little bit of sobering experience, but it feels real. It feels that finally we are coming out of a state of 4 months of frustration, resentment, arrested growth, and now we are finally coming to the other side of it. The wait is over. The obstacles that were causing our growth to be blocked have been handled with. And now we start living life in a new way. This will continue till about Christmas. And then we have a Christmas solar eclipse, which starts our new life, which starts the full manifestation of our life. Right now, the structural changes are revealed to us very clearly in the second half of this month. But the first half of the month is spent in actively creating this new reality. You will be putting in a lot of effort, detailed work to get something off the ground. But wait till about 5th or 6th of September if you need to negotiate something, because this energy at the start of the month is going to be very conflict driven. It will be massive in energy. You have to give it an outlet. That's why we are discussing this video, because we want to know by sign, where should I direct this energy? Where should I use this massive amount of drive that I'm going to feel in a more productive fashion to get the right kind of results? And also, Uranus, what kind of innovation I need to add to this new start to make it productive, to make it exciting, to stimulate and give an outlet to what I truly want to do. Because Uranus is about dramatic changes in our life. In the season of Virgo, those dramatic changes are given a productive outlet. Because when Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, all the personal planets make a positive aspect with Uranus, it is saying, let's channel this urge for freedom, urge for change, urge for breaking free, this urge I'm feeling within myself. How do I channel that in a productive, real way, which can help me, support me, and materially manifest in a positive fashion for me? So that is shown with where Uranus is in your chart. And we'll discuss that when we get to your sign on where Uranus is in your chart. So where are you seeking freedom? And then where is Mars, Venus, Mercury, and Sun concentrated in the month of September in the first half? So where that outlet is going to come from? Where is Virgo in your chart? Just before we get into individual sign, two things I like to do. First thing is that let's look at the stars that are coming in contact with these exact degrees, because they have implication on the global events. This month, because of the external planets making contact with each other, which are called synods happening, there will be dramatic global events which will happen as a result of that. We are sort of in a wait and see mode so far. And this month, with Saturn going direct on 18th of September, and then Venus and Neptune making their final square in this month, in the second half of the month, we will see dramatic global events which will come through, which will come in form of ideological conflicts leading to a change in ideology over the course of next couple of months. On 21st of September, when Jupiter and Neptune will make a square with each other, this is a 13-year synod which is coming to result. It creates a progressive way of thinking. So there is an ideological war that comes with it, an ideological fight between the new and the progressive versus the old. There's a dissolution of old ideology that is required. And that comes to focus in the second half of the month. Around, you will see that happening from, in fact, around 15th or 16th of the month, and all the way till end of this month. But these exact degrees of this new moon have an impact on that dissolution. 6 degree or 7 degree of Virgo, where this new moon is happening on 30th of August, it is known for artistic ability, of analytical, very strong mind. It's attached with star Thuban, which is sort of known to give Warren Buffett kind of a abundance, because you know how to see the trends, how to analyze the trends and make use of that in a productive fashion. Whether you like him or not professionally, Michael Jackson, who had the star as well on his sun, diligence, ability to convert talents into something materially lucrative. That is part of the star. That is part of this new moon. It is a materially abundant new moon. So we would be working on materially manifesting something which is achievement oriented, that has material value attached to it. But the constellation within this sits has a side effect of pollution of air and rivers. So we could see an element of pollution of air and river. This new moon can be a precursor to a global pollution issue that might come up during this month. one warning is that, I'm sorry to say, but I have to give the other side of it, because Virgo is attached with purification. Purification of things that are not working well in our society. So, at a global level, the first thing that is seen is some kind of impurity, a pollution of air and river, which is a precursor. So, on a personal basis, you want to be careful of any stomach food poisoning. Essentially, when you're eating food this month, you want to be careful of the cooking part of that food. You would be better off focusing on vegetarian food, or staying away a little bit from meat oriented, because in Virgo season we do better from health perspective if we are eating earth originated food, which means ground originated food, which is vegetables, root vegetables, herbs, and so forth. And even if we are consuming meat, we are consuming non-vegetarian food, the suggestion is to look at the cooking method of that and be sure that the cooking has eradicated any kind of pollution in it, essentially. Because Virgo rules our digestive tracts, our pancreas, our small intestine, colon, which are sensitive as a result of this new moon. So you want to be sensitive to your stomach. You want to be careful in terms of the pollution of the food which you're consuming as a result of that star. The second thing that I want you to be careful about as a result of this new moon, and this is more again from global events perspective, is that the Mars and Sun conjunction is happening at a star called Zosma. Zosma is 9 degree 41 minutes Virgo. It is attached with innocent people. It is attached with Saturn and Venus kind of qualities, so it gives good alert mind. As I said, Virgo is the season of utilization, the best utilization of our Mars, of our mind, of our Mercury, of our thinking, of intellectual activities. But there is a fear of poisoning that comes with it. You have to note that these stars were attached with Michael Jackson. And it's known that there was some amount of poisoning attached there. But at a society level, Zosma's activation by Mars, which is happening on 2nd or 3rd of September, is known for some sort of abuse, some sort of innocent people being compromised in some way, innocent people being taken advantage in any way. So Mars being connected to Zosma on 2nd or 3rd of September is known to wrongfully be used against innocent people, against indigenous people, local people, victims of society, people who are less well off in some way or disadvantaged in some way. There's a victimization that is attached to Zosma star at 9 degree 41 minutes all the way till 11 degree. And people who do have Mars conjunct Zosma in their charts, they're usually known to not use Mars in an effective manner. It could be just simply that the tempers are high, and that is why I said we need an outlet for this energy. We need an outlet for all of this high heat energy that comes at the start of the month. But on a more mundane level, on a global level, this does have history of creating some sort of abuse with the people of a country, with the people of who are not really in charge, who are not really in the administration. In some ways, administration breaking the back of a person who's just serving, who's just doing work. This is in mythology. It is shown as the back of Nemean lion being broken up, being crushed by Hercules. So it is present in the charts of victims. It is present in the charts of people abused by the system in any way, and there is normally a likelihood of some sort of victimization and suffering coming through with people who are not so much in control at that time. So we need to use this energy in an efficient manner, in an organized manner as a collective, because it can cause aggression, it can cause physical hurt to people. Especially Mars on Zosma is attached with I know better than anyone. There are people in history who have this. The Zosma is very prominent in chart of George Washington Bush, George W. Bush. It is very prominent in chart of Nigel Farage. It is very prominent in chart of Boris Johnson. So they are, and when this was activated last, we had Kim Jong Un called Trump a dotard or whatever he wanted. He threatened essentially United States at the time for total destruction, and the whole Rocket Man incident, which happened. This happened back in September of 2017 when this was activated at the time at 11 degrees. So the history, I've gone through many years of this history. Normally, some sort of threat comes through, or a pollution of the environment or CO2 emission reached the higher ever experienced degrees when this happened in October of 2016. US election also happened at the time, but okay. So some external pollution from intelligence agency, interference from Russia at the time. Those kind of, so there's a pollution and interference and to some extent abuse of people who are not in power, which is attached with ZOSMA, which history has shown time and again. At our individual level, what we can do is use this proactively to service the society in some ways. That's why when we look at each of the sign, we look at how to productively use this massive energy that comes our way at the start of the month in a more productive fashion. Keeping in mind that I know better than anyone is an energy, is a sentiment that will be rife at the start of the month. In terms of the good dates, because we have a lot of productive energy right at the start of the month, so we would like to use that. Most of first half of the month is very, very productive because Saturn is making a positive aspect with our personal planets, which creates a whole lot of discipline for material manifestation. And then Jupiter is making a contact with personal planets, which gives us support, which gives us positivity, which gives us impetus to do things in a very in sort of a risk-taking fashion, coming out of our comfort zone fashion. So, all of these planets are fairly close in their degrees, and they make contact with all our personal planets. But specifically, 5th or 6th of September, I feel, is a very good day for business approvals, for sort of going through for focus and to sign on things and to get negotiations going. Throughout this month, Jupiter will be, in the first half of the month, Jupiter will be making a square to all our personal planets. When that happens, you know that Jupiter is involved with excesses. So when we are getting these positive dates, Jupiter is making a square with our personal planets, which means that we are prone to excess commitments, saying, over-promising things, buying things which are not in our budget and those kind of things. So you want to be on lookout for the excess that comes with Jupiter. But overall, 5th and 6th, very good for deciding on things, on making conviction on things. And the conviction gets stronger on 8th and 9th of September, especially 9th of September. The conviction gets very stronger. Mercury is meeting Pluto. This is a very, very good time to sort of convince somebody about your perspective, 8th and 9th of September, all the way from 7th to about 10th of September. In fact, very, very good time to convince somebody about your perspective and making a business impact as a result of that. Then 13th or 14th of September, if you want to get approval from authorities, convince the authority figures, get blessings from the authority figures, because Sun is making a positive aspect with Pluto. That's an excellent time to do that. 19th of September, massive amount of action and knowing the details of it and doing things. So 5th, 6th of September, 8th, 9th of September, 13th, 14th of September, 19th of September are great for making progress in realistic fashion. As the month progresses, from 13th, 14th September and so forth, Pluto kicks in. So the conviction gets stronger. My suggestion is to make real structural changes in your life after Saturn goes direct, after 18th of September. In fact, ease of making structural changes in your life will happen after 18th of September anyways, but use the first half of the month to convince people, to negotiate, to refine, to get into details, to set up the groundwork required to get those things done. And then the dates on which Jupiter is making a contact, when you need to look out on excesses, and they will coincide with some of this. 2nd of September is when Venus is meeting Jupiter in a hard aspect, so you want to be careful in terms of excesses of expenses, going ahead on love commitments without knowing fully about the person. So there is some amount of great positivity in the heart right from the start of the month, which comes with the massive action that is happening. But on a personal basis and on financial basis, you want to be careful in terms of going overboard in spending, as well as in the in the personal relationship aspects. You want to be a little bit careful on those days. Then the second date is 6th of September. Mercury is making a hard aspect with Jupiter. You want to be careful in terms of overcommitting things. You are in a very positive mindset. There's a lot of grounding energy, but we can be prone to saying or taking on too many projects and committing to delivering too much around 5th or 6th of September. Then comes 8th of September, Sun is meeting Jupiter. This could be the time again from an ambition perspective. We'll feel very confident and proud and optimistic over here, but we can take on too much. We can do excesses when it comes to our work. We can go excessive. We can burn out as a result of that. So you want to be careful, and that burnout can also happen with the Mars square Jupiter, which is happening on 11th of September. 11th of September, along with the 2nd of September Zosma aspect, these are the two aspects when I think Mars can be misused in some way, which means that we can get overheated, we can get overreactive, we can go ahead and our ambition can take over, and it can lead us to act in an egoistic fashion. So apart from the Zosma aspect from global perspective, I mentioned around 2nd, 3rd of September, which will have an impact all the way till 9th of September. 11th of September is another date, which I think we want to be, our ego needs to be in check. Jupiter causes excesses. As long as we manage the excesses, this is a very, very good season. There are dates on which we will be revealed what the reality is, because Neptune is kicking in as well. This is a astrologically active month. So there are dates on which you sort of get realization. 10th of September is one of them. It's sort of a turning point, an illumination of what needs to be given up, because of which we can physically feel weak, because there is a disintegration of old reality that comes with it. So 10th of September, we can feel a little bit weak. And then because of its contact with Mercury on 7th, I will not choose 7th, I will not choose 4th, I will not choose 10th, and I will not choose I would not choose these dates to sign off on things. 13th and 14th also, Mars is making an opposition to Neptune. I think this is a much easier one to handle because you have Sun and Pluto there. As I mentioned, that is a day on which you can convince somebody. But you want to be careful in acting, because we can be a little bit lethargic, if I can say, because it sort of breaks down our stamina a little bit. So on a physical level, on 14th of September and 13th of September, you want to be careful. So this is what is happening this month. Now we'll of course go into individual sign and look at where specifically Uranus, and hence where is our innovation, where are the changes we are looking for, and Virgo, where is Virgo, where do we productively create in the first 14 days of the month, where the massive action is required to get things done in detail, in correctness, in perfection, and we can deliver something really materially beneficial to us in the first 14 days of the month. So let's go into individual signs now.